62% of all undeveloped green renewable energy is in Africa. Without 62% of all the renewable energy not being developed, energy transition is just a buzzword. 65% of unutilized arable land is in Africa. The utilized arable land in Africa has a productivity which is a sixth. So even that utilized, the productivity gains can be 6 times.
Welcome to the GreenShift podcast, where we explore the innovations, policies, and ideas shaping Africa's sustainable future. I'm your host, Nixon Kanali. Today, we are diving into a bold statement by Equity Group CEO Dr. James Mwangi. Energy transition is just a buzzword without Africa. That's what he said. He's pointing out two powerful realities. 62% of the world undeveloped clean renewable energy is in Africa. He also says 65% of the world's unutilized arable land is also here in Africa. Yet, much of this potential remains untouched. Over the next few minutes, we will unpack why that matters, what stands in the way, and how Africa can move from the sidelines to the center of global sustainability.
This episode of the GreenShift podcast is sponsored by the Samsung Galaxy A56, the phone that gives you a smooth AMOLED display, a 50MP camera, and all-day battery life on a budget. Now available at your nearest Samsung store. Thank you, Samsung, for supporting the show.
Let's start with energy. Africa has some of the sunniest skies, windiest coasts, and largest rivers in the world. In fact, the International Energy Agency estimates that Africa could technically generate over 10 terawatts of solar power, far more than it needs for itself. But despite that, Africa accounts for just 1% of the global solar capacity. Projects stall due to financial costs, lack of grid infrastructure, and policy barriers. In Kenya, for example, geothermal has been a success story. Yet, solar farms still face long approval times. In Nigeria, abundant sunlight contrasts with frequent blackouts.
Energy generation is expensive. If you look at Africa, we have hydro, we have geothermal, and we have solar. Mm-hmm. The cost of implementing power systems, especially centralized power generation, is capital intensive. And because of some areas, especially because of political instability, capital is priced very high. And also, Africa has not managed to delink political environment with the economic side. So you find if there's political instability, most of these projects get delayed or never complete. And this delays access to cheap power. However, the potential is plenty. Okay. So if we get organized, we can be able to solve the energy gap.
At COP28, global leaders launched the Accelerated Partnership for Renewables in Africa, or is APRA, aiming to grow capacity from about 66 gigawatts today to 300 gigawatts by 2030. But ambitious goals require money and trust. Let's zoom in on what's working. Morocco's Noor Kwazazate Solar Complex, I hope I actually got that name right, is now one of the largest concentrated solar power plants in the world, supplying electricity to over 1 million people. In Kenya, the Lake Turkana Wind Project powers 17% of the country's grid.
If each country looks at their potential and invests in where they are good at, we'll be able to sort out some of those challenges.
Interesting.
I'll give you an example of East Africa. We are the equator. It's the easiest place to install solar generation. we don't have areas, for example, in Kenya, we don't have an area where you cannot generate solar. And it's available 12 months in a year. So it is a matter of priority, incentives from government, the potential and the demand is there.
Scaling is the key word here. Africa's population will nearly double by 2050. Without rapid investment, the energy deficit could grow faster than clean power supply. Let's now shift to Africa's other underused resources. Land. Africa holds 66% of the world's uncultivated arable land, but yields are strikingly low. According to the World Bank, African farms produce just 20 to 30% of what's possible using existing technology. The continent imports food worth over $40 billion every year.
65% of Africa is arable, which means if we mechanize, if we get the right seeds, if we organize, we stop the subsistence farming, we can be able to generate enough food to feed ourselves. Africa is 1.3 billion population, and of course feed the rest of the world.
Right. This isn't just a local problem. Low productivity drives food prices up globally, fuels instability, and makes Africa vulnerable to climate shocks. Why should the rest of the world care? Because the global energy transition cannot happen without Africa's participation. Cheaper solar from Africa could power factories that reduce emissions worldwide. Improved agriculture could stabilize food systems, reducing humanitarian crises.
This is the only region remaining in the world where you have returns in double digit. In fact, currently, the East Africa region has recorded the highest growth rate in the world, recording about 7.5% growth in GDP, where you can't get in other markets, which are already mature. So all that is required is capital and skills to harness all this potential that we mentioned. Both in resources, there is also manpower. We have the youngest population. A lot of them now educated. So it's a matter of aggregating all those potential to build and get the highest return that you can get in the market.
Hey Green Shifters, are you ready to take the conversation beyond the podcast? This November, join us for the first ever Green Shift Breakfast Forum brought to you by TechTrends Media. We're bringing together sustainability leaders, innovators, policymakers, and change makers to explore real solutions for a greener Africa. From clean energy and climate finance to circular economy and green tech, it's all on the table over coffee, collaboration, and bold ideas. Want to partner or showcase your brand at the forum? Reach us at info@techtrendsmedia.co.ke or call 0727 503 198. Let's shape the future together.
So, what needs to change? Financing, risk guarantees, concessional loans, and blended finance. Policy, we are looking at clear frameworks to attract investors. Tech transfer, affordable access to advanced farming and energy systems. And lastly, regional cooperations, where we need to see shared grids, trade policies, and data systems.
As the world goes through the reset, at the center of that reset must be Africa. Any configuration of the reset that sidesteps and ignore Africa is naivety. There is no global sustainability without transformation of the African continent.
Africa isn't just a continent with potential. It's the missing link in the world sustainability puzzle. The Green Shift isn't about buzzwords. It's about turning data into action. Thank you for listening to The Green Shift. If you believe in what we are doing, amplifying African voices, exploring solutions, and telling stories that matter, here's how you can help. Share this episode with a friend, colleague, or community group. Subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode. And if you are able, support us, whether by leaving a review, spreading the word on social media, or even contributing to help us keep producing in-depth episodes like this one. Every bit of support helps us grow and continue these important conversations. I'm Nixon Kanali. Until next time, stay green and let's build a sustainable future together.